everyone, this is Maritime Academy YouTube channel, and as you know, usually in these videos we are talking about regulations of MARPOL Convention. In this video also I am doing the same, and we are going to talk about the regulation 30 of Annex I, which is about pumping, piping and discharge arrangements. And simply it's telling that every oil tanker shall have a discharge manifold on each side of the vessel, port and starboard, enabling the vessel to be connected directly to the shore facility for discharging the dirty ballast water and oil contaminated water, oily water. But here it's telling oil contaminated water, no difference. And it's telling that every oil tanker of 150 tons GRT and above shall have separated overboard for the cargo and separated overboard for the ballast water. So from now I'm telling cargo overboard and ballast overboard, okay, each side of the ship. The main thing that it's telling that this cargo overboard or ballast overboard shall be located above the sea level. It's very important. It is the Annex I. We are speaking inside of the Annex I. So, because in Annex II we have different regulation for the chemical tankers and NLS carriers. But here, just remember, this is Annex I, Regulation 30. It's telling that clearly that on oil tankers, cargo overboard and ballast overboard shall be located on each side of the vessel above the sea level while the vessel is at her deepest ballast condition. For example, this vessel which I'm on board now, it is an Afromax tanker. So in fully ballasted condition we have around 9 meter draft. So it means that these overboards, ballast overboard and cargo overboard, shall be located on each side of the ship at least 9 meters above the bottom of the ship. So I think it's clear. Also it's telling that another requirement regarding these overboards, ballast and cargo overboards, it's telling that when a vessel is intended to discharge anything from the cargo area, oil contaminated water, oily water, ballast water, dirty ballast water, the vessel shall be equipped with a stopping device to enabling the vessel to stop this operation at once. Anytime they saw any trace of the oil, they shall be enabled to use this device. They shall be able to use this device to stop the operation. Nowadays we are telling automatic shut-off valve, auto shut-off valve, automatic stopping device. We are telling like that nowadays usually in every oil tanker. But in the text of the convention it is telling that means for stopping the discharge of ballast and oil contaminated water from the cargo area to sea. Also it's telling that if any vessel not equipped with this system, they shall have proper communication system with discharge control area. Here is not telling CCR, cargo control room, it's telling that discharge control center, if I'm right. I think telling like this in the text of the convention, but means that actually control room. It's telling that if they are not having this stopping device, they shall have proper communication and visual observation and same time communication, radio communication. If they have this, if they have proper radio communication with the control area and proper observation on the ship side, so they no need to have this stopping device. Communication, communication means proper communication. They are looking and they are seeing any trace of the oil. Okay, stop, and they are stopping the operation. Sorry. At the same time. So in this case, no need to have the stopping device. And from the other side, I want to tell you something very important about this regulation. This regulation is the first place in the MARPOL Convention, which we are going to talk about the MARPOL line. Actually, in the MARPOL Convention, we never use this wording, MARPOL line. We are not telling MARPOL line. But what we are telling, I'm going to tell you. So let's continue with this regulation 30 of Annex I with MARPOL line. When we were talking about Regulation 1 of Annex I told you that the oil tankers delivered on or after 1st June 1982, they shall have segregated ballast tank, they shall have segregated and independent tank washing system, crude oil washing system. At that time, I remember we talked about this issue. And now in this regulation 30 of Annex I, we are adding some more requirements in addition to segregated ballast tanks, crude oil washing system. These tankers, which are delivered on or after 1st June 1982, and it means that all present tankers, better we tell like that, more, it means that all present tankers in the market. So they shall have the MARPOL line also. But in MARPOL Convention, we are not using these wordings. You can never find in any place of MARPOL Convention that it's telling MARPOL line. MARPOL says a special small diameter line, and it is started from this regulation 30 of Annex I. It's telling that the oil tankers shall be equipped with a special small diameter line for draining the cargo pumps and cargo lines to shore reception facility or to ship's tanks, usually sloop tanks or any other tanks. And MARPOL says a special small diameter line. And it says that, as you know very well, it says that it should be located on outboard of the ship manifold valve. It means that the vessel, when it's connected to the shore reception facility, this valve is exactly between the ship's manifold valve and the shore flange. The MARPOL line is connected there for draining the cargo pumps and cargo line to the shore facility or to the ship tanks. This is also another requirement for all present oil tankers. So just it was interesting for me that I want to tell you that from where you can find the MARPOL line in the MARPOL Convention, because this question sometime coming in the mind that where it is written MARPOL line. No, nothing is written as a MARPOL line in the MARPOL Convention. MARPOL Convention says a small diameter line to the thing that nowadays we are calling in the ships as MARPOL line. In second paragraph of this regulation, I told you that it says that every oil tanker of 150 GRT and above shall having segregated, separated cargo overboard and ballast overboard on the side of the ship above the sea level in the deepest ballast condition. Again, in paragraph 6 of this regulation, it's giving some more exemptions, and it's telling that in this exceptional situation, vessel oil tanker, which is bound with the requirements of this regulation, also is able to discharge the oily water under the requirement of the regulation 32 of this annex, which we will talk about that later, from below the water line. But what is this exceptional situations? While vessel at berth in the port, in the terminal, when the vessel is discharging this oil contaminated water by gravity, and also another thing, it's telling that when vessel is doing the ballast water exchange operation under the requirement of the International Ballast Water Management Convention, and also it's telling that from any cargo tanks except the sloop tank possible to discharge the oily water, under the requirements of the regulation 32 of this annex, but only by the gravity, and provided that we have given enough time for the separation of the oil and water, and again provided that before starting the discharge operation we have used the actually interface detector to see that we have enough interface to reduce the discharge, the risk of the discharge of the oil into the water. And also remember that there is also, I told you this is the 4 exceptional situation, which the oil tanker also possible to discharge the oily water below the sea level. But also there are more exemptions in this regulation in in paragraph 6, but they are not belonging to the present tankers. They are all belonging to the vessels which they were exist before 1979, which they are not existing now. So there are only 4 exceptional situations. When you are at port, when you are discharging by the gravity, when you are doing the ballast water exchange operation, and when you are discharging from the cargo oil tanks, except the slope tanks, but provided that you have kept enough time for separation of the oil and water, and also you are discharging only by gravity, and again provided that you have made sure that there is enough interface to reduce the risk of the discharge of the oil to sea. In paragraph 7 of the regulation 30 of Annex I, it says that the oil tankers of 150 GRT and more, which are delivered on or after 1st January 2010, they shall be equipped with a positive means. And what is this positive means? For where and for which job? I tell you. It says that when you are going to operate the cargo sea chest valve, you know, there is a cargo sea chest valve, and usually always before the cargo sea chest valve there is another valve which always we are calling isolating valve or inboard valve or inboard isolating valve, such name like that. So it says, as per the requirement of this part of the regulation 30, it says that before operating the cargo sea chest valve for taking the water, you shall make sure that between this valve, means cargo sea chest valve, and the valve before that, means isolating inboard valve, there is positive pressure between these 2 valves. So you shall generate vacuum between these 2. There is some meter of the line to avoid any oil pollution when you are opening the cargo sea chest valve to take the water. So always need to generate a positive pressure between these 2 valves before operating the cargo sea chest valve. So for this purpose, you need a positive means approved by the administration. I remember very well that before 2010, we were using the stripping pump for this purpose, which actually it was not that much practical. But nowadays, you are using your AUS vacuum system. Always you must use AUS vacuum system before operating the cargo sea chest valve for taking the water. At any place, at any location, anywhere, anytime. Before operating the cargo sea chest valve, you should make sure that your AUS valve, your AUS system is running, AUS vacuum system is running, and you have positive pressure backside of your cargo sea chest valve, between cargo sea chest valve and isolating inboard valve to avoid any pollution. So it was the last requirement of the regulation 30 of Annex I. So here I'm going to finish this regulation, and after that we will talk about regulation 31 on the next video. Thank you so much for watching me again, and wish to see you again in the next fix with new videos. Thank you.